Hello and welcome to a Be Smart About Art monthly Art World webinar video recap. My name is Susan Mumford and I am founder of Be Smart About Art. We provide inspiration, training and support to foster creative and professional success for individuals and organizations in the art world. As we say, art is your life, make it your living. Now with us today in this session is Crista Cloutier of The Working Artist. Welcome, Crista.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So she's going to be giving you essential insight into crowdfunding for the arts. Before we delve into that subject, I've got several key questions to be asking you. I'll tell you a bit about Crista. So, like myself, she is a fellow American expat gal. Crista, high five.
Expats in London.
Here we are, making a difference for individuals in the arts, arguably on an international basis in both of our cases. So Crista has been based between France and England for the past 7 years. She has spent her career to date in and around the world of contemporary art, with many successful roles ranging from publisher to gallerist, and also from being an arts writer to an award-winning documentary producer. Well done.
Thank you.
Today she is an artist who writes about being an artist. That's from lifestyle philosophy to the nuts and bolts of the business of making a career in the arts. She's founder of theworkingartist.com, where she blogs about the life of an artist. So Crista, I really want to delve right into finding out some of those nuts and bolts about crowdfunding. What I think is really interesting for the audience to know is that Crista is somebody who has successfully done crowdfunding herself, as somebody who teaches workshops and also, I understand, does some one-to-one work with people in regards to crowdfunding. She comes at this from the inside. She comes from this as somebody who's an art world practitioner herself, which really means that she brings true knowledge to the subject. So Crista, first and foremost, what on earth is crowdfunding?
Good question. Crowdfunding is a really simple concept. It's a concept of a lot of people giving a little bit to help someone do something. You know, and we've seen it with charities. We've seen it, we've seen it with all kinds of different crowdfunding campaigns. But a lot of people just donating a little bit, it adds up really quickly, and people can do great things.
Well, as you say, you can crowdfund to do what you want to do.
Exactly. Exactly. If you've got an idea, you can make it happen if you can sell it to other people.
Yeah, which is just absolutely terrific. And I think for individuals in the arts, organizations as well.
Wonderful.
Absolutely. Not going the traditional fundraising route.
Exactly. I mean, we can't go to banks. We can't go to venture capitalists too often, unless we have an idea outside of the box. Otherwise, for funding, we're looking at grants. We're looking at residencies. Residencies don't even fund. So it's difficult for creatives.
Yeah.
But through crowdfunding, we're really empowered now.
Fantastic. Now, on that note, you used crowdfunding to start a business yourself, didn't you? Tell us about that and how you engaged your community as well.
Well, I had worked in the art business, as you said, in every single aspect of the art business, and I left it. I moved to France so that I could start over as a writer and an artist myself. And one thing I knew I wanted to bring to my practice is other artists. I've always collaborated with other artists. I wanted to continue to work with other artists. I know about the art business. I know the struggles that artists face. So I developed this workshop called The Working Artist, teaching the nuts and bolts of the art business. I started teaching it. It was really successful, traveled all over the world. It was great fun. I loved seeing the difference it made. But there was a struggle there. The working artist wasn't a working business model because there's only one of me. And it's really expensive for groups to fly me places and put me up and all of that. And it's expensive for artists to pay the fees associated with those costs. So I wanted to put my program online so any artist anywhere could have access to these tools at an affordable price. And that was my initial dream. It kind of seized me, it held on tight, and it wouldn't let go, as I say, and those make the best crowdfunding campaigns. Something that just really, really motivates you, something you're passionate about, because that shines through. And people respond to that when you are really passionate and motivated. So that was my idea. I went to the traditional business world and they scoffed at me.
Never mind them.
Never mind them. Every single meeting I had ended the exact same way. You know, some guy putting out a cigar saying, "That's a really great idea, Krista, but artists don't have any money." And so I decided instead I would go directly to the people that I wanted to serve, and I would go to artists through a crowdfunding campaign and ask them to help me to create this program online. And that's what I did. And it was terrifying, exhilarating, wonderful, horrible, beautiful experience. And I wouldn't change a minute of it. I really wouldn't. It was wonderful.
Yeah, I think that really summed up the experience for so many people as well. I've not heard it just from you, but from others, and now you're teaching people how to do it as well.
Yeah.
There is indeed a question that's asked a lot, which is about the difference between equity and rewards-based campaigns. Would you tell us about what are those? Sure.
Yeah, there's two different kinds of crowdfunding. There's equity-based and rewards-based. Rewards-based is what I did. It's more traditional crowdfunding, which is when someone gives you money, they're not buying your company, they're not getting a share of anything. They don't expect to get profit. They get a reward, they get a gift. It's sort of a donation, and in exchange they get a gift. And there's different levels that they can donate, and then you have different gifts that you offer at those different levels. So there's a $10 gift, or a £10 gift, sorry, maybe a £100 gift, a £1,000 gift. So you can kind of decide where you want to fall in there. Equity-based, on the other hand, is the traditional, you give, you get a share of that company, you get a piece of it. But there are crowdfunding platforms now that are set up to handle one or the other. And there's a few new ones that are set up to handle both.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
And arguably in the arts, the reward-based model is what many people opt for because people aren't so interested in investing in the business as such.
Right. In the visual arts, there are other arts like theater or film or music where people are starting to use the equity-based. Fashion, gaming.
Of course. Okay, brilliant. Oh, well, that's really insightful in itself. Now, just one or two other questions here for you. What's maybe one pro and one con of crowdfunding versus traditional funding methods?
I'll give you one con, and I'll give you a bunch of pros. It's my way. The con is that it's a lot of work. My campaign ran for 1 month, but I actually planned for 5 solid months to get ready for it. And I wish I took even more time because it is that intense. And planning is crucial to the success of a crowdfunding campaign. 60% of crowdfunding campaigns fail. And I believe the reason for that is poor planning.
Okay.
I really do. I think planning is everything. So that's the con. It's exhausting. It's just overwhelming. And you're putting yourself out there. You're opening yourself up to criticism. Anytime you put yourself out in public and you say to people, give me money, you're inviting criticism. That's just going to happen. So I give you some tools with it beforehand. You'll survive. You'll get through it. And, you just can't worry about the haters in anything you do.
Yeah.
And in art, we have to learn that lesson anyway. And if we don't have it before we crowdfund, we should learn it because in art, there's always you're always going to have people who don't like what you do. Completely. That's the way it is. But as for the pros are amazing. You get to make your project happen. You get to connect with people and tell them really who you are and what you're about. You get to workshop your message. When I built The Working Artist, I got to go out and meet hundreds and hundreds of artists on the street and talk to them about my program and what I wanted to do and ask them directly, what do you want to see? What do you want me to say in it? What else can I give you? What are your challenges? And people pay thousands of pounds for this kinds of market research. So it was free in a way, and they were paying me to do market research. I got to learn a lot more about what I was creating and also get a buzz out there that never would have happened had I simply just created something and plopped it on the marketplace, and then tried to build up that kind of buzz. I hit the ground running by the time I created the Working Artist, and that was fabulous.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, and not only that, I made strategic alliances. I met people. People came forward and offered to help me to film the program, help me with the platform, help me with my IT, just because they got excited by the campaign. They became engaged. And I continue to work with a lot of these people today, which was incredible.
That's
so
incredible.
It's not, the money is wonderful, but at the end of the day, the money wasn't the most important thing at all.
And that really says a lot about the fact that it isn't necessarily even, it's not about the initial idea, it's about people being inspired, enthused by your passion for whatever that project is.
It's about your passion, it's about your story. When you crowdfund, you have to really figure out what your story is and the story you're going to tell. And you have to get it down quick, too, because you're going to be running into people. They're going to say, what are you doing? And you have to tell them, I'm crowdfunding about. And you've got to have your pitch ready to go, and you have to really hone it. That's part of what that 5 months of planning was about for me, was figuring out exactly what I wanted to say I was doing, being completely transparent about the money, how much I needed, what it was going to go for, what was going to happen during the campaign and after the campaign.
Brilliant.
Yeah, it's good.
You're putting yourself out there. Now, I'm curious to know about this fantastic badge you've got. And
Artist.
You're clearly full of insight, so I'm also keen to understand how the audience can continue to learn from you and to follow the work that you're doing with the Working Artist.
Okay. Well, the artist badge actually came from my campaign. Because when I was meeting with artists, they were telling me that their biggest challenge was owning who they were, calling themselves an artist. For a lot of artists, that's too big of a word, and I don't know, it's almost like in the Wizard of Oz, like you need the wizard to come and give you something before you are it. And so I created this badge with my website on it, just to remind artists that they are an artist and to own who you are. And I would walk around with this badge, and I would invite all kinds of conversations because artists just started approaching me. I'd go into a restaurant, and the waitress would be an artist. I'd walk down the street, and an artist would approach me. And it's a great conversation starter. It's fantastic. And I continued to, to share these with people. It became a symbol of my campaign, but it's now a symbol of my business. So
Lasting to today.
Lasting to today, right.
And now, those aside, how can people continue, perhaps online even, to follow you?
To follow me, you go to my website, theworkingartist.com, and you sign up with your email address and your first name, and you join my newsletter list, and you will get updates. I blog about the life of an artist, what it is to be an artist. I also occasionally send out nuts and bolts information about the business of art, and I have an online program, a premium program called The Working Artist, which is going to be launching, and so I send out emails about that as well. So that's the way to keep in touch, theworkingartist.com.
Well, fabulous. So everyone, I look forward to hearing reports about how people have discovered more knowledge from Krista. It's been really great to have your insight today, so thank you very much.
Thank you.
And we look forward, needless to say, to staying in touch with everyone as well on besmartaboutart.com, as well as on Twitter at besmartabouttart. We look forward to having you at future sessions with Be Smart About Art. Thank you very much for watching us today, and we look forward to being with you again online and in person in the future. Thank you. Signing out from London.